Say, kids, are you bored with the horrible existential terror and continual crushing ennui that has dominated us throughout this entire godforsaken year and need something to distract you from it all? Or are you just bored and want a project to work on? Well, it's that time again! The Longbox of the Damned Bumper Contest! For the 5th year in a row, you can submit a bumper to be shown at the end of a Longbox of the Damned episode. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, a bumper is a short clip, otherwise known as an eye catch or ident, that is used to identify the show or larger company of the thing it's associated with. Usually they're used for commercial breaks, but also a logo at the end of a show, movie, or video. As I said, this is the 5th year we've been doing this, and you guys always come up with creative, fun, funny, or legitimately creepy bumpers. From now until September 15th, you can send in your bumpers. They can be animated, live action, just have a creepy visual, or maybe tell a very short story in the small amount of time you have. Speaking of, here are the rules. The maximum amount of time for a bumper is 15 seconds. It's supposed to be a short thing, people. Longbox of the Damned episodes aren't usually very long as it is, so we don't want a quarter of it taken up by the bumper. 10 to 15 seconds tends to work best. You can enter as many times as you want, but only one of the bumpers you submit will make it in. Unless somehow I get less than 31 people entering, in which case any of the extra ones you create will fill in the holes. Feel free to self-promote in the bumper. Include a link to your own work, a Twitter handle, etc. in a non-obtrusive manner, usually the corner of the video. It must feature the Longbox of the Damned logo in some way. Included in the video description is a link to a high-quality version of the logo you can download. Though feel free to be creative. People have made it out of Legos or clay before if they felt the need. The bumper must be horror-related in some way. This is for the Halloween season, so get spoopy. It can be goofy, funny, or scary, but as long as it is in some way linked to the season. Exercise common sense about what you'd expect to see in Halloween or horror. I would prefer if the video was not a screamer or loud jump scare for the sake of some of my more sensitive viewers, but I'm not outright banning them. No nudity, and try not to be too graphic. Sure, blood and guts are fine, it's horror after all, but again, I trust you to use common sense about what would be acceptable. It can't be something you already produced for another project. Sorry, but I'm not interested in your leftovers. Just film a pumpkin with some spooky music for 10 seconds. I need at least a little effort. No copyrighted footage or music. Sorry, but YouTube is YouTube and I have to be more careful. Some music doesn't get detected by Content ID, but probably best to use some royalty-free tracks if you can get them. While a still image is acceptable as an entry, please try to include music and bear in mind that a video has more chance of winning a spot than just a single image. Entries should be sent to Linkara-AtopTheFourthWall.com with the subject line Longbox Bumper Contest and contain either a YouTube link or a Dropbox/other file sharing service link. MP4 is preferred, but not a hard and fast rule. You can make the bumper public if you want, but if you want to keep it a secret, you can upload it to YouTube as an unlisted video, meaning people can only watch if they have the link. Any bumpers that don't make it into the 31 regular Longbox of the Damned episodes will be eventually shown off in a video, compiling them all together after Halloween is done. Sometimes that might be months later. It's not intentional, it's just other projects get in the way, but the compilation video does get put up. If you'd like some inspiration for these, check out the previous bumper videos made. I'd recommend some other stuff to look at, like Cinemassacre's Monster Madness bumpers and the opening and closing, but this is year 5 of doing this. I think you've got the idea from all those samples. I will try to reply back to anyone who sends a bumper in to acknowledge that I received it, but I apologize in advance if I don't respond right away. Feel free to reply to this video with any other questions you might have, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. This year has been a trash fire, but I honest to God always look forward to seeing the stuff you guys come up with ever since I started doing this. Seeing your creativity shine in quick little humor or horror bits is a delight, and I'm always so happy when I see an entry in my inbox. So start making those bumpers and you can see the results on October 1st with the first episode of this year's Longbox of the Damned.